What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and today we're going to break down episode 8 of Bel-Air. Gotta say, it was a lot of emotions going on and a lot of mystery that was also built up. So let's get to it and break this episode down. Young McCraw and Carlton are hitting the golf course. Carlton isn't off the hook for throwing that wild party, so he's got to suffer the back-breaking first world problem of carrying the golf clubs without a golf cart. Uncle Phil smoothed things out with the police commissioner and reminded Carlton that he's got to do whatever it takes to safeguard Carlton's future. Uncle Phil talks with Assemblyman Hernandez looking for an endorsement, but the Assemblyman tells him that the Banks family is wilding out a little too much for his liking. Carlton asks if he can help out, but Uncle Phil tells him to stay out of trouble. Carlton immediately gets in his feels about Will not getting the same treatment, and Phil reminds him that Will doesn't know the political lifestyle the same way Carlton does. Well, it looks like things are building up, especially for Uncle Phil's campaign. And it's just kind of weird because, of course, politicians, they get held to like this really weird, ridiculous standard of like being perfect all the time. And of course, in this case, throwing wild parties with the police showing up or your wife snapping off at events and things, that's going to hurt their image a lot. So, but as for Carlton, you can see that he's still in this mode or this habit of comparing himself with Will, and the treatment that his family is giving to Will versus what he gets. You know, he just needs to be able to let that go because honestly, at this point, it's kind of sad. Kylo reminds Hillary that she's got 3 million views for that sexy chef video and asks about the follow-up video. Hillary told him that she told her parents that the Thirsty Chef video was just a one-off. Hillary is now trying to defend the Thirsty Chef post and tells her parents that she's actually going to do some more. The one thing I really liked about this scene was actually Aunt Viv. And I loved how she was like, you know what? I'm going to argue less and listen more. Come on. Come on. Come on. Like, and then she asked her, does this reflect who you are? I love this so much because, even as a parent, you're still growing, you're still maturing. I mean, as kids grow up, they actually watch you grow as a parent too, and here's the thing, you don't always get it right, but you do things in an effort to love your children the best way that you can regardless, right? So I love the growth that Vivian has shown here with Hillary because, man, I swear if more parents were to argue less and listen more with their children, woo, mm, I'm telling you. So I really love the growth that Vivian showed here because, I swear, like, if more parents were to like actually argue less with their children and listen more, maybe this world would be a little bit better place and people wouldn't have so many childhood trauma issues and stuff like that. I'm just saying. Will's mom, Vi, flies in from Philly to celebrate his birthday. They head over to the mansion. Before they get settled in, Will gets a text from Lisa saying she needed a little help in the pool house. Vi tells Vivian that she may tell Will the whole story about his father. Vivian is worried and thinks that Will may hate the both of them if he finds out the truth. Okay, clearly there's like some tension here between Viv and Vi. I mean, did y'all see that awkward hug? Like y'all don't know how to hug each other. And I know that this show is not the same as the comic. I know that. I know it's not the same as Fresh Prince, but I'm a little disappointed that when Viv and Vi saw each other, they didn't go diva and then the whole jump in and all that stuff. I just kind of wish we had gotten that. Just I miss it. I miss it. I don't know. But okay, hold on now. What the hell is up with Will's father? Like, why is this a big mystery? And more importantly, why would it get both Viv and Vi in trouble if Will finds out the truth? I mean, I heard some wild theories out there. I know some of y'all have been saying this too in the comments, but like one theory was that actually Vivian was really Will's mom, and I don't know, maybe Vi took over. I don't know. I don't know, but hopefully we're gonna find out. Vi meets the rest of the family. They all start to reminisce about Vivian and Vi's mother. Tension starts to rise as Vi brings up the fact that she took care of their mom at home while Vivian only sent money to help out. Will has to calm the waters. Okay. Once again, what the hell is going on? Like, did y'all see that little hug? Like when Vi went to hug Uncle Phil and Vivian had a certain look. Like, did you peep that? Okay, look, man. I'm just saying, y'all gonna have to quit feeding us these things. Like, if there's nothing there, don't send us off now. Goodness. But I have to say, taking care of like a loved one or whatever, the way that Vi was taking care of their mom and stuff. I've seen this firsthand, in my own family. It's tough. It is not something. There's a reason why they call it a burden of love. Like it weighs you down. Anybody that's had to take care of a dying loved one or a sick loved one, like it's a lot of work. You sacrifice a lot of time and energy in doing that. So in this situation, I totally understand where Vi is coming from, because I'm like, hey, if she was doing all that by herself and taking care of their dying mother, and I mean, you do everything from feeding them, changing them, bathing them. That's a lot of work. And then you probably have a job too on top of that. Man, so and the only thing Viv was doing was just sending money. Like that's it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna side with Vi on this one. That's I just understand that that's definitely not something easy. But clearly there's more to the story. So let's get back to it. Vi says that her and Viv have a lot of history to work through. She asks Will if he remembers his father, and Will says only bits and pieces. Viv is painting to make her deadline, and Phil said that he could have used her help with Hillary. Vivian told Phil about Vi's plan about telling Will about his father. Phil automatically is against it. Okay, I am really glad that they actually mentioned that Will's father's name is Lou, because I heard another theory. Some of y'all put this out there too, that maybe Uncle Phil was actually the daddy. And I almost was thinking that, with that little awkward hug between Vi and Uncle Phil. But okay, like we could throw that out the window. Like clearly this dude named Lou is, Will's daddy. But for whatever reason, and this is the weird thing, like Phil was quick to be like, hell no. So I kind of wonder, like, did Lou and Phil have some beef or something? I don't know. But one thing I do know is they are really building up the suspense with this. Vi is cooking breakfast for the family, and Carlton's nosy self asks for more secrets about his mom's past. Vi tells him about Viv being a D'Angelo groupie and running them streets. Now, did you peep that little comment by Vi when she was talking about buying Viv the art set and everything? Like those little, like when people throw these little passive aggressive shots or whatever, I don't know. This is just, it feels like one of those things where I think Vi is kind of holding maybe Viv's success against her. Maybe she just wants some credit, some praise, like not something. I don't know. But it's definitely something that's been eating away at Vi for a long time. Jeffrey set up a meeting for Wilkes and Phil to meet. Phil asked Jeffrey for a favor. He doesn't want Lou to come near Will. Well, Lou is dead. Phil is throwing some hands with Jeffrey. Jeffrey isn't feeling the latest requested favor by Phil and asks him to reconsider. Phil said, nah, that ain't happening. Jeffrey said he ain't that kind of brother to do what Phil asked. And Phil told him he don't care what kind of brother he is, but he works for him, and that's all that matters. Hold up. Jeffrey got a son? Dang, okay, Jeffrey. Like I didn't know that, But anyway, he did have a daughter in the Fresh Prince show, so I guess that makes sense. But anyway, I think that this is interesting because we're starting to see a darker side to Uncle Phil. That he's actually the one calling the shots here. Like Jeffrey was willing to go kill a random gangster and stuff like that to help protect Will, but apparently he draws the line here, when it comes to handling things with Will's father. So I guess them bringing up the fact that Jeffrey has a son kind of means that Jeffrey has a soft spot when it comes to this issue. Maybe we'll learn more about his kid later on. We'll see. Will and Vi end up going to a restaurant, and Vivian comes to join them. The two ladies start to throw side shots at each other once again. Will asks his mother to tell him everything about his dad. She told him that his dad was a dreamer who racked up a lot of debt, and she ended up having to pay for all of it. However, when Will was born, she changed for the better. Golly, man, did y'all see like how super sensitive Vi is here? I mean, my goodness. The moment Will gave just a little bit of credit to Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil, she's like, "Why you doing it? But I'm the mama." Like, yo, chill out, lady. My gosh, defensive much? Whoo. Now, listen, like I said, this is clearly like a soft spot for her. But going to what the sisters were saying about each other, Vi does seem to feel like she's owed something from Vivian, especially for supporting her art. And I also think that she's feeling some type of way for allowing Lou, Will's father, for taking advantage of her for so long. And, all of these things, Vi is clearly never really resolved in her own life. And it's affecting, everything within her. This is probably why she's so on edge every single time. Hillary is back on her sexy chef vibe, but she remembered what her mother said. She came up with some other ideas besides the thirsty chef idea. She brings him up to Kylo and he lets her know that she's got a bad habit of quitting things when things don't go her way. She tells him to go stick it where the sun don't shine, and he said that's cool and all, but he gets to keep all her content that she made while in the house, and that if she bails out, she'll owe a kill fee. Back at the mansion during Will's party, Jazz shows up. Hillary gives Jazz a halfway apology and tells him that after leaving the influencer house, she owes Kylo $50,000. Look, always read the fine print. But hey, look, this is just gonna be a nice life lesson for Hillary to grow from. I doubt that she's gonna ask her parents, for the money. I'm sure they got it, but like they're not gonna pay that. She's not gonna ask for them to pay that. And she did mention that she was staying at a hotel, so I respect the fact that she's still trying to remain and keep her independence, even though she's clearly in a bind. Uncle Phil meets up with Blue Lives Matter and proposes a deal where whichever one of them is leading after their political debate, the other will drop out of their campaign. Back at the party, Will opens up his birthday gifts and his mom gives him a picture of her holding a newborn baby Will. Vivian gives Will some autographed Jordans, and Vi is already in her feelings about not having her own moment. The two sisters get into it and start yelling at each other, and the two storm off. Here we go again. Vi's tripping as usual. And, Vi needs to know good and well that any literal gift would have been better than just a picture. I'm not saying you got to break the bank or nothing like that, but come on now. Seriously, you really thought a picture was going to take Will could have gotten some shoelaces and been like, "Yo, these some fly shoelaces, y'all." Like, come on now, stop it, Vi, stop it. But of course, she's what's happening here. This is a classic situation of what happens when you bury things in and don't talk about your issues or your feelings, because you notice how Vi is tripping over like the smallest trivial thing with the gifts, but in reality, what she's really tripping about is how she feels neglected and taken advantage of her whole life, not only by Vivian, but also by Lou. The concern that Vi had was that she would be erased from Will's life. But that right there is projection, right? She's taking all her pain from her situations with Viv and with Lou, and she's projecting or applying it to her relationship with Will out of fear. And let me just say, there's nothing wrong with Vi trying to desire or just want credit and acknowledgement for what she's done. But the issue with Vi here is that she's expected it so much that it's led to her sense of resentment for Viv and her success when she didn't get it. And it's one of those things where it's kind of like, you don't really always want to do things for other people like you want to do them out the kindness of your own heart, but if you're doing things with the expectation of being thanked and the expectation of praise or gratitude, it's kind of like you're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment, because everybody's not always going to thank you. Everyone's not going to give you a shout out or credit. Like, people are human. So right here, I think the biggest mistake that Vi made was that she had the expectation that by doing all this stuff for everybody, everyone was going to be like, Vi, you the girl, you did it, girl. And that's not wrong for her to want it, but the fact that she put so much expectation into it, as high as you set your expectation, that's as high as your level of disappointment will also be. And let me just say, this is why folks need to go to therapy, and consider this your unsolicited PSA. But y'all, I'm trying to tell you, this is why everyone needs to go to therapy, because folks be dealing with things and holding on to them for so long in their lives that they don't know how to function. They don't know how to process emotions. Normalize therapy. Go to a session. Trust me, you will be fine. It will be okay. Carlton talks to his mom and says that Vi could just be hurt too. Viv starts to realize that Vi has been carrying a huge load all on her own. Will goes to talk to his mom. The two sisters get to talking and forgive each other. Vi said that she's going to wait on telling Will about Lou. Hold up. Didn't she already talk to Will about Lou? Unless, is there more to it? Did she sugarcoat it? Like, I mean, okay, there's clearly got to be some more to Lou, right? Because if you got Uncle Phil asking for favors, like, that sounds more life threatening rather than, oh, well, this dude just has like a gambling problem or something like that. Like, what do y'all think is going on with Lou? Because they are really stringing this along, and I don't know what it could be. But it's definitely something that clearly has got both Viv and Vi spooked to some degree. But y'all, look at this reconciliation and love. I love it. I'm telling you once again, I love that this show will show us drama, right? But the thing is, even though the drama can get a little over the top, it gets a little extra, okay? It also shows us the healing side, the healing aspect too. And y'all, we just don't see enough of that on TV. A lot of times we see all the drama, all the fighting, and all the back and forth, and we just kind of are left with that. But now to actually see people grow up, be mature, talk things out, process their emotions, my goodness, we need more of this. I love it. And I gotta say, I love that what Carlton did here, because, like, when he went to go talk to Viv, he was really talking about himself. Like, he was really like channeling what was going on with him and Will, and basically giving that advice to his mom, because so often when we're going through things, it's harder for us sometimes to deal with our own issues, but it's a lot easier for us to give advice to other people, right? But in this case, he drew from his own stuff, talking to his mom, but at the same time, he reflected, and that got him to get to a better place with his relationship with Will. Love that. Really good writing right there. Will and Carlton go hash things out. Carlton expresses his frustration with the expectations of being perfect and other pressures he's dealt with. Will asks him, however, if he's going to have a problem with him and Lisa still dating. Carlton comes to terms with their situation and tells Will, just don't hurt her. Jeffrey goes to Uncle Phil's office with a letter, but he puts it away when Will arrives. Will asks Jeffrey for a favor to look into his father, Lou. Jeffrey agrees to help him out. Man, I really like that Carlton admitted what he was going through and what he was dealing with here. I gotta say, he sounded like a grown man. Like, this is how adults should be. He accepted that him and Lisa were not a thing, that they were over with, and that whoever she dates is none of his business. However, Will is still kind of dirty for dating his cousin's, ex, all in front of his face like that. We not gonna let Will off the hook now. That's still bro. You're breaking the bro code. Like that's not. It's a little dirty. Just saying. But go ahead, Carlton. You got this. You got this. As for Jeffrey, I think now things are making more sense, right? I think he was clearly that letter. I think he was about to give Uncle Phil his letter of resignation. He was just going to quit. Going back to when he said that he wasn't that kind of brother, and seeing that he's got a son of his own. This was kind of like the line Jeffrey just didn't want to cross. But thanks to Will asking for that favor, I think Jeffrey is now at a point where he's like, all right, I'm going to help Will out because he can identify with Will's desire to know more about his father. So I think that's the connection that's happening here. And I think that's going to be probably the main reason why Jeffrey ends up staying. But hey, look, this ended off the episode. I gotta say, I'm definitely interested in seeing what the hell is this going. What the hell is up with Lou? Like, what did Lou do? What is the problem with Lou? Why is it gonna get both Vivian and Vi in trouble? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out. What did you think about this episode? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Any theories, all of that is welcome as well. But how are you feeling about the sisters, like, having their issues and stuff and going back and forth? All I know is they was making West Philly look real bad. I'm like, first Trey was tripping hard, and now Mama Vi was tripping hard too. Come on, man, y'all gonna have to don't do West Philly like that. I'm just saying. But anyway, thank y'all so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really do appreciate it. If you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out the next time I drop a video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.